Hi there, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is Star Wars Saturdays, and which means that we're playing on a Saturday. I'm doing this for a year and a half now. Every Saturday, I gather together with members of the Gauntlet community. Every month, we choose a new game system. Sometimes we do two in 1 month, like this one. Here we are at the middle of February 2020. It's crazy. 2020. Where are my flying cars, guys? We are playing Extinction. Extinction is this really cool black hack game created by Kobayashi. And Extinction is built to emulate the Aliens movies, particularly the Colonial Marines. Outland is also a inspiration for this, and there's a whole little cool indie subgenre of RPGs around this line. Stuff like 316, Edge of Space. Those are the two main ones, and it's fun. So Extinction, I've hacked it for Star Wars because I invariably hack games for Star Wars. I'm crazy. I don't know why I keep doing this. It's an addiction now. Extinction, we are going to be playing Stormtroopers. This is set in the timeline after the original trilogy. So Return of the Jedi has happened. We are primarily sticking to the movies as the movies are canon. So the original trilogy is canon. But we're past that official canon. The only thing that's official is that we're headed towards Mandalorian, but I don't think we're quite there yet. So we're in that middle space after Return of the Jedi. The Empire is falling apart. You guys are all part of this area that's a little bit of expanded universe. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you all you need to know. There's a guy by the name of Zsinj. If you look at him, he looks like Prussian military. I love that picture of him. Zsinj was a Moff during the Empire. When the Empire fell and Palpatine died, he said, I am loyal to the Empire, and therefore I'm becoming the warlord of the Empire. And he has carved off a slice of this area that actually covers Mandalore, surprisingly enough, as well as the corporate sector. If none of those words make any sense to you, who cares? It's space areas with space planets. It's all good. So there's this area that Zsinj has taken hold of. He is trying to keep things together in this small little Imperial area. And there are, of course, the rebel forces who are now the New Republic, who are hinging in on those borderlands, but they're also pretty darn concerned about things like, I don't know, Coruscant and the like. So Zsinj for this period of time has got a pretty firm grasp on things in Zinj's empire. If you look in Wikipedia, which is one of my favorite websites, they have a cool little map, and I've stolen that for our purposes. So let me just real quick show you Zinj's empire. Not that it's that big of a deal, but it's a map, and I worked on it, so damn it, you have to look at it. That's just the way it goes, friends. If I do work on it, it will be featured, probably. All right, so there's our map for the Extinction game. It's actually... I just added in a few things. I stole this from David MK, the idea of taking a map and dropping it into Google Draw. So Sereno is kind of the home planet of Zsinj and is where you guys will be stationed at the beginning of our session. So there you go. I've done it. I made you look at the thing that I worked on for an inordinate amount of time and then re-revised and tried to make the circle bigger and freaked out a little bit. And it's just, but it's perfect now. It's perfect. Don't tell me otherwise. In Extinction, it is a black hack game, so you'll be rolling d20s to do stuff. There are turns. There is initiative. I apologize. We'll struggle through it, friends. I know we're used to indie games where we theater the mind and don't worry about such things, but it's pretty light systems. I think we'll be fine. There are hit points. There are levels. There's all that stuff. It's great. What I'd like to do now is go around and have everybody introduce their characters after I say that there are safety tools. First of all, we have lines and veils on the character keeper. Folks have already filled those out. We've got lines and veils out there just so we're aware. Our lines are sexual violence. Totally cool with me. There's a line for me, and veils on torture and violence towards children. Wholeheartedly agree. If at any point I will adhere to those lines and veils, as will you. I trust you guys. If at any point, though, we stumble upon something with the best of intentions and it's something that is problematic for you, all you have to do is indicate an X card. So there are several different ways. You can like hold up an X, you can say something in chat, and if I miss it, because sometimes I do, you can just gently say, hey Rich, I need to X card so and so thing. I'm not going to challenge you on it. Friend, I trust that you'll use it, and I want you to use the X card. The X card for me has never stopped play. All it has done is given us an interesting challenge to go around it. We've got 4 beautiful brains here. I guarantee you it will not be an impediment to our awesomeness. And the last bit is there's the roll for your party link. There's a little X card there, so if you'd rather do it kind of indirectly, what you do is you click on the X card, type in whatever you're objecting to or whatever you need to X card, and hit OK. It'll pop up for everybody, and it won't say who did the X card. If that makes you feel more comfortable, go right ahead. And the last thing is, I know there's like a bajillion tools, but I want to give you all those options, friends. The to everyone, you can, in the Zoom chat, you can actually click on that. You can go directly to me or just say to everyone, just say, hey, I need to X card a thing. Pretty neat. I have sent private messages through this thing while games are ongoing. It is fun. Secret messages for the win. I know what's wrong with me. I'm a bad gamer. I'm like a trad GM terribleness with secrets at the table, but sometimes I do it. Last thing I'll say about X card that I always like to make sure and point out for folks is if something starts to creep into the game and you're like, ooh, that's a little dicey, but I'll let it roll. And then 5 minutes down the road, you're like, okay, this is too much for me. You can still X card, right? You do not obviate the ability to X card anything. Even if it's in our canon, I give no fucks about the fact that we may have said that this thing was yellow for 5 minutes. It can change colors. Everything is mutable, right? Because your comfort is way more important than the fiction that we are creating. So now I will have everyone introduce their characters. I am going to start from the bottom of the alphabet because someone went with a Z name for their character, and I'm really fascinated by that. So, Greg, please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
I'm only the bottom of the alphabet by the second letter, anyways. I'm playing ZT. She is our fire team leader. She has one of those cool shoulder things.
Yes.
Just it's the straight up bad guy. This bad guy is a slightly higher rank than the other bad guys. And really the only other thing we know about her is that she was in quarantine for 3 days while the rest of her squad died. And I noticed that NH843 did name his former squad members, but ZT can't remember hers and can't remember why. There might have been some sort of brainwashing that happened.
Wow, that is great and not at all terrifying. Great. So ZT, what is ZT like general look outside of armor with her helmets removed?
Just sort of like a short cropped hair kind of thing, buzz cut. She's very straightforward. I rolled a very low charisma for her, so I don't think she's she's tight-lipped and kind of straightforward in her handling of situations, and nice. I think that comes off as abrasive to other stormtroopers.
So she's having memory trouble since like her rest of her squad died. How long ago was that?
Oh, maybe just a couple weeks ago.
Okay, awesome.
Recent.
That is delightful and terrible, and I wholeheartedly agree with this idea. So just so we can kind of tie into our own little fiction, do you think that that squad was lost while you guys were in the Hell on Legs series? If that was a
absolutely
squad okay,
yes.
sweet.
I'm good with that.
It sounds good because we are picking up.
Plateau is about the last thing she remembers.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Greg. Steven, if you could please introduce yourself and your character.
Sure. I'm Steven. I use the he, him pronouns. I'll be playing HN843. Also goes by the nickname Nate. N8 is in the numbers and it kind of works out. He's just a grunt. Without his helmet, he's got like a crew cut, and it's light blonde brown hair, but just crew cut, chiseled face. And he's very much, just a grunt. He's just, go do that thing. Oh, yes, sir. Or I'll go pick that thing up and do whatever you want. After hours, he's friendly. He jokes around a little bit with the rest of his crew, and will make jokes about, how you're not pulling your weight or you're not doing what you need to, and kind of rib them a little bit. His last two squads have been decimated. They were wiped out. And in the character keeper, I have a picture of the three of us sitting around like in the mess hall drinking blue milk. And that's pictures with Threes and Even, who are now deceased. Yeah.
And does he have that like near his bunk kind of deal?
I think he actually keeps it inside his armor.
Oh,
But I don't think he's told anyone else that his previous crews were wiped out, because that would just look really bad and he would be a jinx.
True.
Yeah.
True. I like that. I like that a lot. Nice. Then, Scott, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Sure, my character is ZK650, but just Zach will do. Zach kept his head down during much of the height of the activities, but towards the end was asked, in scare quotes, to participate with a Black Ops interrogation crew. And that, one does what one's asked in the Empire if one wants to be alive. However, it's really left Zach a little bit haunted by what he was asked to do in terms of keeping these interrogation recipients alive. And now he's even more just trying to keep his head down and survive.
So are you thinking that when he did the interrogation work, that was before the Empire fell? So it's like he was interrogating rebels kind of thing?
Or it was in that gray area, so I guess Zsinj would just be standing up, going to power somewhere in there. Because we're before Mandalorian, right? So we're like, what, 10, 15 years out?
No, we're like year out.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be maybe in that gray area is good.
Nice. That's perfection. Very happy about it.
That makes the trauma really, really recent. So
I think that after the action that took place from the Holland Lakes, and now Rich is spacing on the name of the planet that you guys took, so he's going to jump over and grab that real quick, because embarrassingly I've forgotten. I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but we'll grab that. Hold on, where is that? Cyward. So you guys had moved on Cyward, and after taking that planet, or Lavisar was the name of the planet, Cyward was the city you guys were taking on. So Lavisar has been taken over by Zsinj's empire. He's just kind of ticked out and enveloped that, because Lavisar was a pretty valuable asset. They have a shuttle manufacturing corporation there that is now under Zsinj's control. So that is the timeline. That's what recently has happened. Zsinj is very pleased about that. He's going to be moving in extra forces to garrison there. But you guys are pulled together into a new fire team in the 511th. As the 511th has been pulled to Sereno, folks like Duke Sarlin received some commendations, some Warfield commendations and awards. And then the 511th, you guys came in to fill the ranks. So you guys are part of the Delta team, as part of a squad in the 511th Legion. You have a fourth member, which means that we'll have an NPC. I am just going to grab, we're going to call this person. I tell you what, I'm going to let Scott, I'm going to drop a bunch of names in chat, and you get to pick which one of these you like the best. There we go. That's how random this trooper is that's thrown in with you guys.
I like Rafan Zappa or Rafan Zappa.
Nice. I like it too. Sweet. So we will stick that name in the NPC stuff and L&V. So Rafan Zappa is a member of your crew, your little fire team there. You guys find out while you're in uniform lined up. We start off with everybody coming to the line in uniform with Commander Orson Moti, who was the leader of the ground forces that took over Cyward and Lavasol. And he and Sergeant Halcyon, who's the squad commander for this brand new formed together squad, are waiting for everybody to come in. So just a little flavor. ZT, you've got a fire team. You know their designations. Oh, I should probably... Let's give a designate. We're going to give somebody in the Z's for Rafan. So we'll say that he is a letter between K and T. So we'll say he's like a ZR 601. There we go. So you've got your designations of who has been thrown into your newly formed unit, ZT. How do you handle this? Do you just let them come up to the line as they will, or are you the kind of person that's going to be yelling at people until they show up where they're supposed to be?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be basically calling roll on people's designations, pointing to where they need to stand, and generally not even greeting or shaking anyone's hands. Just you're just the next fire team to me.
Nice. And how is Nate, HN 843? How's he take this? He's got your new squad leader.
He basically is standing there in formation, trying to keep ranks, basically trying to be as close as an attention to draw no attention to himself. Being very strict. He doesn't know this commander yet. But I think inside he's a little nervous about, getting close to everyone. And, what does he, is he going to fit in?
Nice. And then we check in with ZK, Zach. How are you handling this new squad as the medic? You've been around for a while. Maybe it's the first time you've gone out in the field in a while, huh?
Yeah, it's first field mission in a bit, so kind of nervous, but I look over ZT. Looks competent. Hopefully we'll survive. I think I can. I don't know if I can trust him, but I'll follow the orders. There's not a reason not to yet. I don't want to call too much attention to myself.
Probably not a bad call. Cool. So you guys form up, and Sergeant Halcyon comes around, checks things, and Modi, he's actually got his hands clasped behind his back, and he's turned away from the group of you. He has an actual a non-human slave who attends to him. Her name's Tracina. She's down row 66 if you want to take a look. She's a near human species that's considered a slave race, and she attends to him and checks his armor and his helmet in a little bit, while Sergeant Halcyon's walking down the line, just checking, make sure everybody's formed up well. And then he presents the squad to Commander Modi. Commander Modi says, He turns around with a little bit of a dramatic flair. He doesn't have a cape because he wears a helmet. He wears armor. Even though he's a commander, he insists on wearing, he doesn't get out of his armor. And he walks down the line with Halcyon attending him. He picks out a few things that are probably in rags, but he seems to call it out, and Halcyon has a few people like, oh, you need to clean that up. Oh, you need to watch that, to watch the flash on that. You know, oh, looks like you have one too many of those kind of things. And after Modi just asserts his authority in a pretty dickish way, he finally turns to address the squad, and he says, all right, squad, a lot of you are going to be sent on the Grav Hammer. You're leaving from Sereno, flying towards the corporate sector, and then out of the corporate sector to Vanguard Station. That is one of Zsinj's scientific outposts. We've lost contact with them for the last 2 weeks. Provided the data pad worth of information to Sergeant Halcyon. The Grav Hammer is under the command of Dama Jasad. Captain Jasad will be the officer in charge of the mission. Sergeant Halcyon will handle the deployment of the squad as is proper. You will have 2 TIE fighters on the Grav Hammer, in case you need it, but likely these pilots will be remaining on the ship and you will handle. The expectation is that this science station has been attacked by forces who are enemy to the Empire. Therefore, you as a squad will be our response. If you have any questions, you will direct them to the captain or Sergeant Halcyon. I expect you to perform well since you are under my command. Do not disappoint me, troopers. With that, he turns and strides off, and Tresina, his slave, comes after him. And Sergeant Halcyon says, all right, you heard the commander. Grav Hammer is in the hangar bay. She has been prepped and ready to go. Need all of you to head in, grab your gear from your bunks, only your travel gear, and be at the Grav Hammer in 5 minutes. And there's a couple of groans like, 5 minutes. And he says, all right, now. And he starts yelling at everybody to huff it out. You guys are 1 full squad, which means you have 4 fire teams. You guys are new, so you can take on your own fire team designation, but the default is that you be Delta Squad because you've just been added in. So you head back to your bunks, which are long rows with no privacy whatsoever, and grab probably a duffel worth of gear. Not much, because hopefully you're just going to go on a jaunt there and back. The travel from Sereno to Nox, which is the moon and planet, where Vanguard Station is located, is a 4-day travel. That's on sublight engines. You should be able to hit the hyperspace relay and get there in the space of a day. That's the expectation. So if you take a look at our map that I showed off, if you follow that, that is not a major traffic lane, but it is well traveled enough to where the Nava computers can chart you a course through Listahall and Ruria before you pop deep into the corporate sector and out into the uncharted lands where you will find Nox. Anything anyone would like to do before you get onto the Grav Hammer? The Grav Hammer is a Gozanti class cruiser, primarily created to ferry around TIE fighters, because TIE fighters at this time period do not have hyperspace drives. The Gozanti does have enough space to house up to 2 squads, but Zsinj is only sending 1. He's sending the lot of you. So you have quarters, but the bunks are 3 high. I want to say, like, not hammocks, but just basically like these little beds that kind of slide out from the wall. And so the 3 of you all end up in a set of quarters, and the newest member of your fire team, you guys are all just formed together, but ZR601 ends up being housed with another 2 members of the crew. The Gravhammer, Dama Gisard, she's got a pretty good reputation for success on her missions, but she is known to watch over cams, listen in on conversations. She's the kind of person that she's not known to turn people in to ISB, but she is known to be aware of things before they happen, and she tries to stay a step or 2 ahead of any problems that could be caused by arguments among the crew. So because we know that ZT isn't talking about it, but she does have a little bit of a memory issue, I'm going to ask a question of HN843. So HN843, you've worked with Captain Willis. Captain Willis is an Imperial officer who cut his teeth, or so he brags, cut his teeth during the Clone Wars. He is currently stationed as the military commander on the science station. So we're going to go ahead and reveal a little tab that I think some of you guys might have already seen before, but Vanguard Station. That's where you guys are headed. So the question I have for HN is, what was your relationship with Captain Willis like? Do you respect him as a decorated military man, or has the fact that he has very little fine skills in dealing with people other than other soldiers, has that been problematic for you?
He is a great, commander. He is great in charge of people, but I hate him a little bit. We were just having some downtime at some point, just shooting the shit with people, with the rest of the crew, because you got to form a relationship with your comrades. And he came in and reprimanded us and chased us out and said that we should be, cleaning our gear or, getting some shut-eye to prepare for the mission, and kind of, I want to say he formally reprimanded us. He put, layabouts on our records, which probably isn't the right, it's not a way to make your men love you.
Nice. Yeah. And here he is. This may be the first time you've heard that Captain Willis is on the duty roster for Vanguard Station, which is, if you guys are glancing at the Vanguard Station thing, it is the ass end, the Sheb's end of the galaxy. This is where often the Empire has sent people that they can't just have someone get Vader choked. So, but there is a little bit of information on your data pads, as Halcyon tells you guys to read up. And so all of the information that you have, all the information you as players are seeing, your characters have access to. So all that information is in the data crystals that are handed around for you guys to slide into data pads to read over.
I think at this point during the travel, ZT will go over to ZK and just go, "We're a doctor, right?"
Not really a doctor, but yeah, we can fix people up.
What do you think the rebels would want with this little station? They're just doing some medical research out here.
It's got to be more than, could be some kind of special medical research. I don't know. Seems pretty remote for rebels to care about this.
Yeah, something's just not adding up here.
I get paid to fix them up, man. You do the thinking.
I'm the one doing the thinking. We're all in trouble.
Nice.
But it smells fishy to me if you really want my...
Does ZK carry a blaster?
No.
Do you want one?
If you got one, I'll take one.
All right. Just don't let Duke see. It's not exactly in regs, okay?
Why don't you hold on to it till we're not around him?
Works for me.
Nice. So who among Nate, who among the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma teams listed under the Gravhammer crew on the EPC's stuff L&V, who among them have you served with before?
Probably Gel Canal and Gamma. Right? He's
Nice.
a flame trooper. Is that right? FT?
Oh, that's sorry, that's the fire team. So
Okay.
FT is for fire team. That's a great
Okay.
question though. Maybe
So
I
he's
shouldn't
just a
use
regular
that.
trooper. Yeah.
He is.
He's just a grunt like me.
Cool. So you have served with Gamma team leader Dio Canal. All right, we'll put a little star by them.
Oh, not the leader, right? The leader is Iris.
Yeah, the leader's Eric's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Geo Canal. I'm sorry, I said leader, but
Yeah.
my brain wasn't thinking leader. Geo Canal from Socoria. Yeah, as you guys stow all of your gear, you hear the captain calling out to warn everybody that you'll be leaving in 2 minutes. And she has Jaffanin cows and Biala Teal, the crewmen, go through, do final checks. And then soon enough, you guys disembark from the station in Serrano and hit into hyperspace after you exit the planet's gravity. And Jill's going to come over to the quarters where you guys are. The quarters have that, like, it's a communal refresher. That's the Star Wars term for bathroom and shower. So really all you have is basically one desk that you can share between the three of you that pops up, and your bunks, and a little porthole that looks out into space so that you can see if something's coming at you or see pretty planets. But Gio's going to come in, and the door slides open, looks around, and he says, hey, Nate.
So I think Nate was he started reading the pad, to see what was going on. And when we got to Captain Willis's name, he unconsciously kind of set down the pad and started cleaning his weapon. Right. And so I think whenever Joe comes in, Nate's kind of cleaning his weapon. And he's like, we need to, do this one by the book. It's really important because the people we're going to be seeing, the commander there, he's kind of strict. So we need to keep things on the, down low.
Yeah, Jill will say, oh, you heard, huh?
Yeah. I just saw just now on the pad. Yeah.
Yeah, Willis. Great Willis. Hey, you want to go for a walk, man?
Yeah, I'll go for a walk. I need to exercise a little bit and, get my joints working.
You guys know that you have a day, so you can basically, this is downtime, as it were. So he'll walk with you, and there's a small, it's not really a lounge per se. It's more like a galley and an area where people can hang out. And he says, hey, you talked to your fire team leader yet, ZT?
Nothing other than orders.
What do you think of her so far?
Her
she was bad news.
Oh, I hadn't heard anything. I just heard, she seems to be competent in doing her job. But I hadn't heard anything about bad news. What do you know?
Lost her whole squad, so just be careful, man.
I think, you see the kind of a little bit of a shocked face on Nate's, demeanor, and then he's, okay. Yeah, I mean, that is a bad thing. That we don't want anybody who can bring the group down.
Yeah. Hey, you got a medic though. That's good.
Yeah.
Fix all your boo-boos when you bump your little knee and stuff.
Yeah, we really could have used a medic on my last, my last mission, but I'm glad we have one now. You guys have a medic in your crew?
No. No. I got Cord though, who's an explosive expert. Does that count?
You know, I'll watch your back if you watch mine. I'll introduce you to our medic, to Zach, and if we get in a tight spot, Zach might help you out, and maybe if we get stuck, your court explosive expert can help us blow our way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah, let's
We'll
do
work
that.
together. Yeah.
Cool. So you kind of eventually circle back to head back into the quarters, and Lean Ragon, Geo Canal, who's from Socoria. So he's Socoria is the same planet that Lando's from. So very dark skin, it's a desert planet, but not like Tatooine. It's actually kind of mid rim. So he has real dark skin. I'm gonna give him the Lando mustache because it's just cool. He's got the feather hair, all that good stuff. Roguish good looks. So yeah, he comes back in with you. This is the same guy that came and grabbed Nate. It's only been like half an hour or so. He comes up to you. So you're the medic, huh? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah. What's up?
Nice. He's as chatty as you are, Nate. Zach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach works. Who are you?
I'm Geo. I'm from Gamma's fire team.
Yeah.
Medics don't normally get sent out on missions like this. You think maybe the fact that it's a science station is the reason you got pulled into this mess?
Everybody's so interested in this mission. But I patch folks up. I mean, if they think I'm going to be able to figure anything out. Stupid.
Pat your shoulder. Hey, everybody fixes up troopers is good in my book, Zach. Good to meet you.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on your squad as well.
Thanks, Nate.
All right, it's good to meet you, man.
And he does not address CT, like not even once. Like he gives you a look, like he kind of glances your ways. Did you take the top, the bottom, or the middle bunk, CT?
Bottom bunk.
Bottom bunk.
Faster to your feet.
Yeah, so there's a moment where he just slightly glances over towards you, but he moves on and heads out. So anything else, any other scenes folks want? I don't want to rush things if you're like, oh, I want to talk to X or Y, so I'll leave that up. What do you guys want to do? Anything?
I'll talk to ZT. I think after the other guy leaves, after Gamma Squadron leaves, I'll sit down and I'll say, so, ZT, have you seen, how much action have you seen, sir?
I've seen enough, trooper.
Me too. Some of these dents, in my armor, I got over on, the Corabulus moon, and I just wanted to let you know I'm going to do my best job for you. You just tell me what to do, and I'll be there for you.
Your best is all I can expect, trooper.
So I think we've got a pretty tight group here with a medic. We should be able to stay up and do whatever's required. What do you think of the sergeant?
Halcyon?
Yeah.
I've started with Halcyon.
Yeah?
Halcyon won't steer us wrong.
Great. He'll get the job done. Fantastic.
We'll get the job done. You do your job.
Thank you, sir. And I think I'll get back in the top bunk. Right.
I'm going through everyone's service records on my data pad.
Nice. I like it. So check in, Zach. Is there any scenes or any conversation you want to have before we move ahead?
No, I've checked in with the two, key members of the team, so I'm good.
Right. So we fast forward a day. You guys have a couple of meals, a little bit of PT, run some drills, clean a lot of stuff. Turns out having a whole squad of stormtroopers on her ship gives Captain Damon Gisard lots of ideas of things that need to be reconditioned, cleaned, and fixed up. You, of course, get the joy of terse conversations with Kuna and LaRue, the two lieutenants who outrank you. They are officers, so they mostly hang out with the two of them, look askance at all these stormtroopers are causing trouble, but they're not disrespectful. You just get that general vibe. And after the day passes, you come out of hyperspace, and Captain Gisard tells you that says, the route here off of this main thoroughfare, we're going to go sublight from here to Noakes. We should be there in about 5 hours. So everybody in 4.5 start prepping to disembark. We'll be heading straight to Vanguard Station. We will not be making any stops at Noakes or the moon. And then soon enough, before long, out of your porthole, you are able to see Vanguard Station. You can take a look at the pictures on the tab. She looks functional. Does not look like there has been any, like from the exterior, you don't see any damages. And you're informed by Sergeant Halcyon as he makes his way through that we've received no comm chatter. Everything seems to be quiet in there. So probably whatever's happened is come and gone. Still, troopers, we're going to secure this station. We're going to head in and see what we can find out what's happened. More time passes because being a trooper is a lot of hurry up and wait. And soon enough, you start to, the grav hammer starts to head to the main deck. So if you take a look, and I'll go ahead and just screen share because I think it's easier to direct things. But the main deck is where you guys will, there we go. The main deck here is the area with the cargo base and hangar base. Bay 1 houses the patrol skiff in an unarmed shuttle. This is all from the logs. It's what officially is supposed to be there. And Bay 2 is for arrivals. Now, the grav hammer is a big ship. So it is going to, you guys are actually going to pull in just enough to where you can hop out. But the grav hammer is going to remain exterior to the station. Once you guys are disembarked, it's going to move down to the, down here below the spine, because near engineering, these gas here is the same, so they're going to be refueling the grav hammer. So most of the ship is, the grav hammer is going to be attached here to the spine, not the spine, but one of the gas tanks. TIE fighters are going to be doing patrols around the station, and you guys will be sent off into the main deck to check things out. That's the plan. Make sense? So it's what I'm saying, because sometimes I'll say things that make sense in my brain, but they don't hold together as words. Good. So sounds like we're okay with that. So you guys approach slow, and one of the things that you notice and you hear over the comms is that there's a, I can't remember what it's called, but what's the force screen? You know how you can look out into space from a hangar bay in Star Wars and you go through it. You go through that little deal.
I think it's just a force field.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hear over the comms, force fields appear down. It appears the main deck is vented to space. So Sergeant Halcyon comes over comms, says, "All right, troopers, just make sure that you've got everything secure on your armor. We're going to go ahead as a squad. We're going to head in. going to reignite the force field, and it appears that the main deck, I would not recommend taking off anything because it's going to be extremely frigid.
So we're vac sealed for our
Yeah.
suits.
You guys are vac sealed for your suits. Great question. So the grav hammer, and I've got pictures of it on NPC's stuff in LMV, so you can see that kind of the forward arc is what comes into the hangar bay. And you guys are in vac suits with mag boots, so you get to hop out, kind of move that slow motion type thing as you pop out. Fire team after fire teams, the entire squad disembarks. The TIE fighters have already popped out, and they're flying circles around the station, calling in that they see that like there's power to the station. It just appears that for some reason it went into space. The first thing that the three of you notice when you come in is that the other bay is completely empty, that the patrol skiff and shuttle that are logged as part of Vanguard Station are not here. And it also appears in this area that like there should be a bunch of debris if this had been vented out to space recently, but it's been a while. It's been days. The last communication, according to your logs, was double checking, make sure I say what it says, so we're on the same thing. It's been 2 weeks, and it has been at least a week. You see that there's ice formed on a lot of the areas. You got a few things, the pieces are kind of secured, and they're just slowly bouncing back and forth. So ZT, being the fire team leader, what do? You'll get some orders in a bit, but I'm just curious, as you initially step into the main deck, what do you do?
I imagine it's pretty dark.
It is, yes.
So I'll flip on my illuminator on my light repeater, which is just a reskin D11 because making new stats.
Nice.
And then I pass off the E11 to Zach because I promised I'd get him one. And just on our local squad comm, I just like, all right, I'd say stay frosty, but the hangar's already frosty. Check your corners. We're in charge of getting the force field relit. So Nate, see if you can't locate a generator. And then I'm going to tell Rafan to stay by me. Rafan, stay close.
Yes, sir. I mean, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir's fine.
Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. I don't know if you guys noticed exactly how shiny his armor is, but there's a reason. All right.
And I'm gonna double time it over towards like where the generator should be. You know, according to regs, this is where they keep it, and kind of, which is, you know, in the mag boots, it's double timing is slow. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know if you guys like my head cannon like this. There's a little bit of light. There's like a flickering from one of the main deck, and then there's a top deck. The top deck actually has balconies that overlook, so it's also vented out to space as well. And so you have those balconies up above. There's a little flickering light there. You guys are using the lights from your weapons, and then the grav hammer has kind of headlights that are used for docking maneuvers and the like. So there are scattered bits of beams of light, but lots of darkness. Nox itself is the moon is a dead moon, so it's gray. Nox is a brown planet. It's kind of a swampy marshland. And you guys are in geosynchronous orbit over a particular point in Nox. Oh, yeah. There's like those giant shadows, you guys, on the wall. I love that. Like these huge stormtroopers moving along. So Nate, let's do a roll. I think it'll be fun if we put this to a roll for you to be able to secure this without any trouble. So let's say that so we take a look at our stats, applying knowledge to the situation at hand, using our slicing computer, or charting courses through hyperspace, repairing a piece of machinery. Intelligence is what you will need to do. So
I sent the wrong trooper.
That's great.
you did.
Okay, so roll a d20,
Yes.
and I want to roll under.
Yep.
Do you mind if I roll physical dice?
Go for it.
Okay. I rolled a 17.
That is a fail.
Yes.
Cool. So you get to the area where you know it would be, and when you flip the button, it should re-secure the force field. And the force field's not going to cause any damage to the grav hammer. It's a thing where it would form around it. It's specifically designed for this. It comes like nothing happens. Nothing happens whatsoever. You hear the clunk of it happening, and it doesn't work. What do you do?
So I kind of do the typical grunt thing. I kind of beat on the wall next to where the switch is. I don't think there's anything related to that generator behind that wall. So I beat on it and hammer on it, and I hit the button again, and I'm like, on our local squad channel, ZT sir, button does not work. I have tried percussive tuning. Any suggestions?
Oh, you're muted. Great.
CK650, can you help out our rookie?
Oh, Zach, you're going to have to go in and run a bypass.
And I love the Stormtrooper helmet that's floating in the background there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's
It's awesome. Cool. So Zach, you're going to need to run a bypass here, and don't forget. Oh, can you roll adrenaline on a check? It's just for, I think you can't. Okay. Cool. I was just checking because you can use adrenaline to give you a bonus, but you don't do it on an attribute test. So let's have you roll intelligence. But if you're going to stay there and give him a little bit of assistance, I'll allow him to roll with advantage. Sound good?
all right. Sounds good.
All right. So Nate's going to help out. Nate's going to help out ZK650, and let's have you roll 2d20, and you get to choose which of the 20s you want to.
Well, I'll skip the 20 and go for the 6.
All right. That is a good call. You were very smart to choose the 6. Awesome. So you run a bypass, you kind of pop the panel. It's got a new dent in it, and you hop a couple wires, and then things start to come up, and a lot of things drop to the ground as the artificial gravity starts to come on. The force field forms and lights come on. There's still a few patches where lights were harmed or destroyed during the venting to space, but bam, you're good. And checking ZT, checking, maybe you have some kind of like data pad. You see that the oxygen is slowly being pumped in. You guys are going to need to stay in your vac suits for the next bit. It's going to take an hour or so before main deck and then the parts of top deck that are open have enough oxygen to breathe without a mask. Sergeant Halcyon looks around. Good work, ZT. He doesn't even tell the rest of the fire team because that doesn't matter to him. Says, all right, Alpha Fire Team, I need you to secure engineering. You'll be heading down to the Sheb's end of this thing. Beta, sit tight, guard the hammer. Gamma, we want you guys to head up to the top deck. That's where command personnel should be. See if we can find any information there. Delta, because you've got a med person, need your fire team to head down to medical. So head to beta level. It appears the power's on the station, so you should be able to take the elevators, but if not, off it down the stairs. All right, troopers, move like you got a purpose.
I'll check in with the squad at this point. I want to do a quick sit rep read a stitch on this hangar.
Nice.
Besides the missing shuttle, are there any telltale signs of what may have happened that caused them to vent the whole thing, or is there anything by like the controls?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I was just double checking because there is a thing for perception. I want to make sure. I thought it was intelligence, but I like to double check. Boop. Yep. So give me an int check.
Okay. Good. Not a critical failure, but that's a failure.
All
Looks like a
right.
hanger to me.
Nope. Failure. Should I get this? So you're looking around, trying to figure out what's going on while everybody else is running off. You take a few moments longer than maybe is necessary because you see near the edge of the force field, like nobody else has picked up on it, but you see these 3 long cuts in the deck plating. Like something like click and drug before it was vented out. Maybe some equipment, not sure. Then Halcyon's like, ZT, get to it.
Yeah, I'll spin around to the rest of my squad. What are you all waiting for? You heard the sergeant. To Beta. And what's the... Keep forgetting his name. Zapal, you take point.
Yes, sir. Okay, great.
So we're gonna make our. The plan is to take the elevators.
That's a good plan.
But I'm pretty sure that the elevators are not going to work.
Alpha Squad is going to be heading down to the engineering level. Alpha Squad is this one with Duke and Pex. And so they hop in and they head to their elevator because there are 2 elevators. So there's like a spine to the way that this is, the layout is, and there are lifts on either side. And they take the port elevator, and it works. And then you guys take the starboard elevator to head down to beta level, and it doesn't. So ZT, you guys hit the button to head to beta, and you realize there's power running to the elevator, but it does not, like it's not moving up and down. What do you want to do?
So if the doors closed, or are we just...
Yeah, doors closed. Okay. You hit a button to...
But now we're not moving.
You're not moving, exactly. You can manually open the doors back. It's not secured, but it appears that this is not moving for some reason. What do you do?
I'm gonna do the Star Wars. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Everyone gets 1 XP. Just that one time, but like everybody gets 1 XP.
And I'm gonna point towards what I believe to be the access ports we can get to. You know, any good elevator shaft has an access ladder, and so we're gonna have to do this the hard way, team.
Cool. Sweet. So the first thing, just say, Zach, you noticed that there was an override placed on this elevator. It's the reason that it's not functioning. So you guys hit the hatch, and you start to shine some lights, see the huge shaft that leads up the rest, because you're on the main deck. So actually the top is not far up. It's maybe 20 meters up, and you can see the top of where this elevator is. It goes up to main. It goes to top deck as well, but other than that, it doesn't go any further up. But there is a ladder that's headed down. Again, it's Imperial design, so the ladder isn't incredibly safe. Not that it's going to fall apart. It's just like, they don't do stuff like guardrails or, making sure that it's not a slick surface. So it's a little precarious.
Are we in service lights here, or the lights like red, or we're
Oh yeah, it's red. Red light. Yes. Thank you for asking. That is great. Yes. So yeah, you guys have just a little bit of the backup lighting that's going on in the elevator shaft, and the 4 of you start climbing your way down. Now, if you notice, you're headed to beta level. If you look on the There's a beta level's primary science lab. Alpha level has a holo suite and guest quarters. So you'll be heading down the spine past the alpha level to the beta level. And let's just have everybody see if you're going to get a little stress here. So I'd like everybody to go ahead and make a con check. It's one of those games, friends. There will be some die rolling. Cool. So just go ahead and make a Constitution check, and if you fail, then you're going to lose a couple of hit points from stress.
I got a 19.
Okay. Just go ahead and tick off 2 hit points from stress there, medic. But you can fix yourself up later if you want. And I see you rolled a 2 for Nate. What about ZT?
I passed.
All right. Sweet. So the current hit points is where we would record that. Your normal hit points is going to be a 12 for Zach. And then your current hit points is where you'd be going down to 10, just so you can remember what to heal up to. There we go. Awesome. Good. So you guys head past the alpha level, and you see that the alpha level, the doors were slightly ajar. And there is a cable that's run out of the doors, so that's why it's still slightly ajar. The cable's one of those about yay thick, and it is draped down, heads down for a bit. Actually, as you shine the light, because I would imagine someone's gonna shine the light and follow the cable, it goes down for what appears to be like 2 decks, and then appears to be frayed. And when you shine down to the bottom of the shaft, you see there is a body. So, do you want to head into beta or go all the way down to 5 decks and check that out?
Oh, we've got the medic. There's a possible live person down there. So,
All right. I'll head down if that's what you want me to do.
So I think Nate is actually trying to go into beta deck, because that's the order. So he's like starting to open things up, and then he hears a change in orders and kind of stops and looks a little bit awkward, like just trying to, as awkward as you can look in a helmet and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you're a stormtrooper. They all look a little awkward. Sweet.
He bangs his forehead on the wall or something.
Is that so? The body, is that like all the way down by engineering though? Because
all the way
that's
down by
Gamma's
engineering.
problem.
Okay. Yeah,
or
totally.
whichever team was sent there. Yeah, that's their problem. No, we're going to revising that order.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you call it down.
I see that body. I'm like, that looks like Gamma's problem. Let's check out this beta. And we have to.
Cool.
Do we have to move that wire? Is it in the way?
No, well, the wire was from Alpha. It was it's like a cable was open from Alpha, and they tried to climb down, and then fell. So it's not really in the way of beta at all. Like the cable's there, but you can easily move it. It's not secured to anything except for above. And so, yeah, agent's already there. You pry the doors open. You call it down. Corporal Duke Sarlin says, "Great, I'll clean up another one of your messes, ZT." And he says it like he's cleaned up previous messages for ZT. How do you respond to that?
Engineering's your problem, Corporal.
Yeah. Sweet. So you guys head in to the beta level. I've got a map, so let's do our cool map. Hold on a second. Beta alpha. There we are. Sweet. So first I will share it here via Zoom and then in chat, and then I'm going to bring it up and pop it on here. Awesome. So if you guys remember, you guys are on port, which is the left-hand side. I remember port has 4 letters, left has 4 letters, and that's the only way I can keep port and starboard clear.
Same here.
All right, so you guys come in from the left. There's a central area here. Based on your readout, this is the primary research laboratory, and then the secondary research is to your right-hand side. Both doors are secured, mechanically secured. So you're going to need to either cut into it or slice into it. What do you want to do?
Do we have full power to this deck, or
You do.
still? Okay. No visible bodies or.
There are no bodies, nothing visible here. It's stark and brightly lit white, almost blindingly bright in this central area where you are. The door slid open from the elevator, or was opened by you guys, no problem. But the other two doors are secured, and the door to the starboard elevator bay appears that it's still functional. So you could potentially call the elevator if you want to take it away from Alpha Squad down there in engineering. So do you want to go to the right-hand side where a lot of the research implements are, or do you want to head into the left-hand side, which has a lot of the data, has the computers and the like? What do you want to do, CT?
I think the computer room is probably the more obvious thing, but I'll just do a restroom break at some point soon.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just do it now. I was actually looking at time and thinking it was about time, but so we're going to be heading to the left-hand side. Be heading to north on the map. We are going to take, it's 38 after. Let's take about 7 minutes. So we'll meet back at a quarter till and see you guys then. So last weekend I went to a local convention, and very smart Girl Scout troopers had set up in the hotel a table and were just selling cookies. They were right by the registration desk, so you couldn't miss them. And my wife was like, "And I get some camel delights." Like $5 for $25. And I'm like, damn it. So I now have the peanut butter cookie ones.
Really, that's better than
25.
buying some kind of tchotchke at the con.
We got cool D20. Where's the 20 sider? There we go. You can see that the 20, it's Con of the North. Oh, it's not really focusing very well. But anyway, COTN for the 20. And we didn't get any tchotchke, but we bought a Gloom expansion. My wife likes Gloom a lot. And the folks
It's really
from
fun stuff. So
yeah, it's fun. And the guys who created Flapjacks and Sasquatches card game were there, which was fun. All right. You guys were headed to the left to the main computer rooms. The door is secured. You're going to need to either try to slice it or mechanically force it open. CT, what do you want to do?
This looks like a brute strength kind of thing. So I'm gonna point at Nate again. Be like, time to earn your keep, soldier.
Yes, sir.
Yo-ho.
I pull the blaster off the back of my head, and kind of pointed at the door. I'm gonna blast the door.
Oh,
You guys okay
I
with
think
that?
it'll work.
I don't think Okay, so I'm gonna blast the door.
Okay. You can just roll damage
Okay.
because that door's not getting out of your way, and having you miss a door is just not the kind of game we're playing.
Okay.
So you're going to roll your normal attack damage, which for you as a grunt is a D8.
And I rolled an 8.
Wow. Yeah. So you just take aim and boom, you hit right there by the access panel, and the door pops, just moves just a little bit. And you can reach in and
Yeah. So I reach over and I start pulling it, open, and then step back so that the officers can step in.
Yeah, my weapon's already up when you're pulling that door.
right. Yeah. So the room at first glance is very bright white everywhere. You can see that the
Excuse me.
computer station terminal is still on. Looks like there you can even see on the readout there are some things that were typed in. Looks like it's in the middle of a command sequence. But you also see that when you step further into the room, to your right, even though this is just supposed to be a data collection and observation area, there is a body here under a white sheet on a gurney to the right-hand side. And the sheet has pockets of red stains. Kind of draw your attention.
Yeah, I'm gesturing towards ZK and then like the 2-finger pointing at the body. And I'm telling our 4th trooper, whose name I will remember before they die, Rafan, to the other side of the room. Because if I'm looking at that map, I see another door on that side as well.
I'm going to type his name on the Rafan. I'm going to type it here on the characters sheet just so it's easier to grab. Hopefully. And if not, then I did my best. Okay, so you've got Rafan doing what? I'm just going to make sure.
Oh, checking out the other door, because there's another, if I'm looking at the map, essentially leading to the refresher. I think they should check the other door before but I'm definitely going over towards that body with Zach.
All right. So Rafan is headed over for the refresher. Zach, your medic, and ZT head to check out the body. Nate, are you covering them and just trying to keep an eye on things?
I think I'm standing at attention at the door, covering the door.
Cool. So you pull back the sheet and you see that this person's been dead for a long while.
Human.
They are human. They are dressed in the station uniform for one of the scientists or researchers. It appears that he was probably in his 50s. His uniform is shredded and slashed, like he was attacked by something with a blade, or perhaps something with long claws. His body is covered in slashes and gouges. But as a medic, is there anything like, let's give you an intelligence check. Because you're a medic, I'll let you roll with advantage.
Got a 2.
Nice. So you also notice that there are human-sized bite marks on the scientist's body as well.
Human-sized?
Like, the imprint of a, yeah. It looks like the bite marks were around the flanks, but there was like, they didn't bite through to bone, just like they tore out chunks of flesh. And as the two of you are researching the body, CT, the eyes open up. Its eyes open up, and you see they're kind of cataracted and gray, and it starts to move. What do you do?
Probably need to roll panic.
You know what? Maybe you should. Yeah, go ahead and give me a nerve roll.
A nerve roll? Okay.
Yeah, and a failure means we're going to have some possibility of panic.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Ooh, that's a fail.
Okay, so with a fail, we are going to give you. Sorry, I'm bouncing through the PDFs to make sure. You're definitely not helpless, but we've got a panic roll. Here we go. Okay, adrenaline is a thing. And yeah, we'll just have you go ahead and roll on the panic thing. So roll a d6 as this thing opens its eyes and starts to move towards you.
It says I can choose to roll adrenaline. Does that...
So this is weird. So I want to make sure that we're making sense. So the way that panic happens is when you run out of adrenaline. It represents your ability to move on in spite of fear or stress. So I had you roll nerve to see if you hold your nerve.
Right.
Sorry.
Because it says fear, whenever characters face something that might frighten them, players have to make a nerve test. Failure means the character runs away unless the player chooses to roll adrenaline.
Okay, there we go.
Critical failure leads to a panic attack. So it wasn't a critical failure.
It was not. That's a 20. So yeah, do you want to roll adrenaline or you want to run away from this terrible thing?
I'll roll adrenaline.
All right.
There's maximum take one time. So what is rolling? I just roll my usage die. To keep my cool.
It has a usage die, and I think I just want to make sure that we are. So, let's take a look.
It seems like my adrenaline, when I run out of adrenaline, then I don't even get a choice. I have to roll.
Right, exactly.
I have to run away.
Your adrenaline die is listed on your. I didn't put it on the keeper.
The D6.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I keep it. I roll a 4.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a rifle headbutt straight to the head. as soon as it starts popping up, boom, put it back down.
Cool. So you pop it in the head. You feel this sickening crunch. Zach, you were checking out the bite marks when all of a sudden ZT just like clocked this thing out of nowhere. What do you do, Zach, as your fire team leader just attacked a dead body?
Did I notice the eyes open?
No, you did not. You were busy checking out the flanks.
What are you doing?
Immediately second guessing myself because I've had memory issues. Like, did I imagine that?
The wound in his head is seeping
yeah.
out this like viscous, like it does not flow like blood. It just comes out like bad motor oil.
Dang thing opened its eyes.
I mean, this person's dead, but it shouldn't be bleeding like that.
I'm gonna push ZK out of the way. Like, I know what I saw, soldier. Rafan, what did you find?
It's dirty.
Any movement, Nate?
Nate says, "No, sir." Nate, I think, is kind of standing at attention there at the door because that was his last order. And he's used to hearing stupid shit going on and not paying attention to it. So they're arguing over whether or not a dead body moved or not, right? I'm like, yeah, you go ahead.
Over the comms, you guys hear, Rich is double checking his notes of who was sent top deck. Gamma. So you hear Gilles Canal, your buddy, as he calls over the comms and says, "Sergeant Halcyon, we've made our way into the captain's quarters. We had to slice our way in. Sir, I'm sorry. He's committed suicide, it appears. Captain Willis has been dead for a while."
I looked at the service record, so I'm going to check it, Nate.
And Nate's just standing there at attention. You might see a little bit of a shake in his armor, but that's about it.
And Halcyon says, I'm on my way. And it looks like he's going to leave the point where the Beta was sitting tight on Gravhammer, and he disembarks into the central area. He is now on Gamma level because that's where the refueling is taking place, and he's going to be taking the elevator past you guys up to the top deck to check out what's going on.
I'm going to call in this is Delta Fire Team. Checked half of the science level, found a dead body. Looks like it was hit in the head. Not much else here. Gonna check the other side.
All right, Halcyon calls. Let us know if you find anything. Hey, if you're on med level, any research that you can get, you need to download it to your data pads, grab any data crystals that you can.
I think Nate's going to start turning around and start looking at the tables, looking for data crystals.
Yeah, I hear that. I just start heading towards the research area, right? Because we're not in the research area just yet.
So you're going to head across the way?
Yep.
Cool. So as you guys are grabbing data crystals and Zach is moving his way over to the research area, you hear Corporal Duke Sarlin. "Hey, Sarge, there's some really weird poodoo going on down here in engineering. We got some people. And then you hear blaster fire in the background. And then the communication cuts off. So the other door is also secured, Zach.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get it open with either percussive abilities or opening up a panel.
Okay, your choice. If you want to open a panel, just give me an intelligence check, and you can open the door, which means it'll be able to close again. Or if you want a percussive, then you can blast it open, which means you just roll damage. You're talking on mute, looks like.
And that's D6 for damage, right?
Yep, and as long as you do 3 points of damage, then it opens up.
Well, we could say that I didn't, and we could call it safe. I did one. I'm gonna need Nate on this.
Oh, you have a usage die that you need to be rolling with that just to kind of
That's right.
adjudicate your ammo packs. So don't forget that one.
I need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And do you just lower it each time you use it?
Roll a 1 or 2, it'll go down by a die step.
For the grunt, it's only on ones.
Thank you. I rolled a 2, so that makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference. Good thing you're a grunt. Okay. Good. So yeah, you fired at it. You see that you formed a hole. You're either going to have to keep blasting, which you can take another shot if you want, or if you want to call Nate over, your call.
I'm going to go ahead and try one more time.
All right, go for it. Roll that damage and your lovely usage die.
Fail, but not critical.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you take another shot, and then over the comms, you hear Sergeant Halcyon. This is Gamma, and there are a lot of bogeys up here, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on. And you hear blaster fire, and then you hear a scream. It's modulated like it came through one of the troopers, the normal Star Wars trooper thing. And then more blaster fire, and Halcyon says, "You need to secure that poodoo. Get things under control. Secure that room. Take out the bogeys. I'm on my way." So the door, you fire on it, and it appears it doesn't open, and then all of a sudden the door does open. Zach? Because someone opened it from the other side. As this clawed hand slid into the little bit where it started to move and just shoves it aside. Now, before you guys had to pull it open, it had weight behind it, but this moves by really, really fast. And you see that there is the claw is on what used to be a woman's body. Her eyes are like grayed and cataracted. Her jaw is distended, and her teeth, she's just kind of slavering, and she starts to lumber forward towards to try to grab you. Zach, what do you do?
I start stumbling back and fumbling to get my blaster out.
Awesome. I think, again, we are going to have you make that little bit of a fear. So make a near. Oh, weird. I got a weird feedback. So make a nerve test, please.
And I have advantage. Medic has advantage on.
You've seen some stuff.
Yep. I got a 6, so I'm okay.
Nice. So you're good. You can secure your gun. ZT, let's see. Nate, you've gathered several data crystals and data pads. ZT, you were checking that. So I'm going to say that Rafan is with Zach. Rafan does not make his fear test, and he starts firing, and he does the moment of Pulp Fiction where he fires all around the creature, and then he beats feet out of that central circular area to scream, ZT, there's a monster over here. I don't know what's going on. And he starts trying to shut the door to close off Zach on the other side. Zach, you can take a shot at this thing if you want.
I'm gonna take a shot. That's dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not the best there, so I need to roll. Gonna need to roll a 9 or less.
8 or less, actually.
Yeah, you got to roll under.
Yeah, I got a 12. So
12. Okay, cool. So, yeah, you fire off a couple shots. If you can go ahead and roll your usage die.
and that's a D6 for a blaster.
Yeah.
Is that...
It sure is.
3. So
Whew, it's good. It's still good. Still good. Awesome. And so the claw comes for you and slashes across your armor. Remember, you have armor points, but you are taking 5 points of damage. So let's double check the way armor works here. So armor reduces the incoming damage. Spending armor points, you reduces damage by an equal amount. So you have 5 coming at you. You can use up all 4 of your armor points if you wish. And then you will only take 1 hit point worth of damage.
I'm gonna use up 2.
Okay. All right. Cool. So 3 points get through. Please make a Constitution check. Is that 20?
That's
Okay.
a 20.
So Zach, just between me and you currently have the condition called infected. Nobody else pay attention. You have the condition called infected. There's a countdown clock going, and if you don't cure that, you're going to become one of these things. So anyway, you get clawed. It hurts just a little bit. It knocks you backward onto your ass as Rafal is trying to close the door behind you. You now realize that this thing is coming towards you. He's going to try to bite your face. ZT, you are not securing data crystals at the moment. So you see Rafal run in and try to close the door, leaving your medic out there as he is fighting at something because he's fired 2 shots, but you think that was maybe he was meant to do that. And now other shots have been fired. A lot of stuff is going on. What do you do, ZT?
I'm gonna yell at Rafal, something like, "You shut that door, I'll kill you myself," and sort of wade over to that opening to see what's going on in the hallway here. Just probably as ZK takes a claw to the chest.
Yep.
I'll see those cataract eyes, and probably without too much care, I'm just going to open up with my light repeater into this hallway because
All right.
we need to light her up. Where is Nate? Are you also in the room, Nate?
So I turned around to start grabbing data crystals.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. And yeah, you'll see me wait out with my repeater and just start blasting. I think you'll get the point.
So let me ask a question.
Sure.
Should this be in time for initiative?
You know what? It should be. Thank you for that question. I'm not used to games with initiative. Even though I announced this game had initiative, I forgot to ask for initiative. We should do that. So let's start with initiative, friends. Roll nerve.
I get advantage on nerve with
nice
initiative.
And I get advantage on initiative, and I rolled an 18 and a 16.
8.
Truth.
All right, hold on. I'm jumping to the combat section. Initiative. Okay, those who succeed act before the opposition, starting with the player. Blah blah. It says seated at the left. We're not seated because we're all in virtual space. So
I think I still failed.
Okay, you failed, which means that the opposition will go before you. But Zach and Nate both succeeded.
You want to roll under, don't you?
You do. So roll under system.
Yeah. So the lowest I got was a 16. So I failed.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you had 6 and 16 for some reason.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
And Zach, did you succeed?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. This is the perfect time for you to go before the opposition. What would you like to do?
she's right on top of me, I'm going to go ahead and unleash the blaster. Trying my best.
All right, roll dexterity. And you want an 8 or less. Oh my goodness, you're a headshot. It's a 19.
19, so not a critical.
Not a critical. Sweet.
I'll roll my usage dice while you narrate.
All right.
I'm a D4 now.
Cool. She is going to try to bite you instead of claw you. The good news about that is that the claw is way more deadly. The bad news is that the bite, well, it's less bad news for you because the bite carries more infection, but you're already infected. Just between me and you. Sweet. So you take 2 points of damage. Do you want the armor to eat that up?
I'm going to finish out with my armor, yeah.
Okay. So I think what happens is you fire at her, and then she reaches down, grabs your helmet, rips it off of your head, which hurts your ears, and then bites the side of your face. But you dodge out of the way at the last second, so the armor ate it up. So she didn't actually pierce any of your skin, Zach. None of your lovely, lovely skin. She just did that with her claws. Okay. So ZT, you screamed at the opposition is gone. So now ZT, and I'm going to have ZT go and then Nate, if that's okay. And we'll probably just flip it the other time next time.
I was screaming at Rafan not to close that door because I hear blaster fire and he runs the other direction. So I've seen a trooper panic before. I remember what that looks like. And so yeah, I'm gonna wade into the doorway there and just start unloading at whatever I see when I see those like cataract eyes.
Oh yeah. You see her like on top of Zach. Zach's on his butt, and she's got a knee like on his thigh, and she's ripped his helmet off and is trying to eat him. So I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and roll to hit here. Good news is she's somewhat stable. She's not dodging out of the way, so you're going to get a +2 to the target number, meaning normally you roll under your dex. Now you're going to roll under a 12.
Under a 12. Okay. Let's give that a shot. I got a 2.
Nice.
So yeah, I she's like in my flashlight thing, just centered, and I just unload. Boom, 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 boom. And that's a D6. I got a 6. Rolling low when I need to, rolling high when I need to.
That's perfect.
And then I need to re-roll a usage die, which for that repeater is a D8. And I did not select that as my special conservation weapon, but I got a 6, so we're good there too.
Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, the UD, the one object, your tight budget thing. Cool. Where did you hit her? Where do you imagine? Because you got a 2, so you tell me where you hit this boat.
I'm going for center mass.
Okay.
Just trying to get her off the medic, really.
Sweet. You fire a couple of shots, and I imagine that like each of these rounds, you're firing more than one shot, right? So you fire a few shots, center mass, boom, 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 the blasters pop through her. You hit the wall behind her. She falls back, and moves for just a few moments, and then just drops and stops moving. Nate, it is not moving right now. What do you do?
I go across and grab Zach to drag him back.
Nice. So Zach, you get forcibly drawn back again. Your helmet's still lying in that central area. And then Rafal says, "Now can I close the door?
Yes, and call it in, trooper.
Sergeant Halcyon, we've attacked one of the, what do we call it? Bogies? We attacked a bogey. I think we killed it. Great, you'll get a medal. Calm down. ZT, take care of your greenhorn.
I've got a man down, Sergeant Halcyon.
Good thing I gave you the medic.
Yeah, that's the one who's down.
Oh.
I'm gonna start looking at the claw marks and yanking out the health pack.
All right. So, you're going to patch up yourself. If you want to just recover hit points, that's fine. You can go ahead and roll d6 with advantage and recover that mini HP, and then roll the usage for your.
I want to check out the wound itself. She had weird claws. So before I even worry about healing, I'm worried about. I mean, even if I didn't know as a player.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Then go ahead and give me an intelligence roll. With a success, you know that you're infected. With a 1, you know how to cure it right here and now.
I got a success, so I know I'm infected.
Nice. You know you're infected. It's up to you if you tell them.
She gave me something. Where's anybody find those data crystals?
So I think that Nate pulls out the data crystals and hands them over to Zach, roughly. And then he turns around and he looks at that body over on the gurney.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs it and he drags it over where Raffen is. And Raffen's trying to close the door. And he says, 4, and he tosses the body out. And then he helps Zaffin close the door.
Nice. So yeah, you guys work together, you secure the door, and yeah. I mean, if you want to do the thing of like actual, I don't think you guys want to seal yourselves in, but yeah, you've got the door closed. You did blast it open, so brute strength will open it back up again, but you got 2 people, you're there, you've got your blasters, you're trained for this. It's fine. You're fine.
Do I have to make a nerve test for not panicking since I figured out I was infected with something?
That's a great question. I think you should. Thank you for asking.
Made it.
Oh, you made it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you know that it's possible that you're not going to make this out of this, but you have that cool collected air of a medic who's seen some stuff.
I'm looking at his hands being, what do you mean she gave you something?
Nice.
There's some kind of infection growing. I can see it. I'm worried.
Is there a window?
Did that other body
door?
moved?
Sorry. There were 2 questions. So Zach, you said the other body has been moved. It did not move when Nate grabbed it and threw it into the central area.
No, because I didn't believe ZT before. So I'm like, you said that other body moved? The eyes opened?
That's right, Trooper.
Whatever an SH word is for
Hoodoo.
There you go. Oh.
The Star Wars names and species tab has, starting on row 19, F word and S word substitutes. And I took out Poodoo because you guys are playing. Like I'll say Poodoo because I'm used to it. But I thought, oh, you guys are harsher. You wouldn't say Poodoo. It sounds silly.
Druck. I'll use druck.
I love that one. Awesome. Now ZT, you'd asked a question.
Yeah, is there a window in that door? Can we still see what's going on?
Oh no, there's no window in that door. No.
All right. So, can you patch yourself up? Nope, you're muted.
I'm going to try, but we need to check those crystals. Something's going on here. Something weird.
How long do you need? We need to get down to engineering, or we need to get up.
How long do you want to wait before you have to kill me? Because there's a chance you saw her. There's a chance that'll be me.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to call into Halcyon.
Okay.
Halcyon, my medic is down. Says he's infected. I've got 2 bodies in the corridor. Both of them appear to be infected. Recommend we converge on my level and make a stand.
Have you secured the medical files and the research that's been done on these things?
I'll look over at Nate.
Sir, yes, sir.
Fire team is saying yes.
All right then. Get your Shebs to main deck. Refueling, we're going to have to cut short.
All right.
You notice that the Gamma team is no longer checking in. Alpha team that's been sent down to engineering calls back and says that they have secured engineering, but they have seen some crazy drug. And Halcyon tells them that they need to head up as well.
All right. We're going to get onto that. We have to open up that door again. And I'm going to put Zapal in point again. That's what you get for freaking out.
He says, "Well, sorry, are you sure? I think it should be Nate's turn. All he did was get a bunch of crystals."
And I think Nate has looked around and gotten whatever container he can, a tub or a bag, and he's just shoving computer components in. Right?
Yeah. We'll say you got like a duffel and you've shoved a bunch of stuff.
I'm not losing another. I think he says this out loud. I'm not losing another crew member. Yeah.
Nice.
We'll get you, Zach.
I could carry the bag. Sir, you should send Nate.
So I shoved the bag at him and then stepped forward to cover the. Yeah. I'm gonna pry the door open.
Sweet. There's nothing in the central area.
Okay.
Those 2 bodies are not there.
And then on point, I've got my, blaster out, and I kind of cover the area, sweep the area, look around, up, down, and out into the central area, covering as the rest of my crew come out. Yeah. So in this central area, there's 2 elevators, one that doesn't work and one that does.
Correct.
Yeah.
The port elevator does not work. You guys had to head up and down the ladder. The starboard elevator does work. You're in the central area. There's that other room that you never made it into. And there's the stains, like that weird viscous old blood. But neither of those 2 bodies are here, the woman nor the person that was underneath the sheet. So CT, what do you do?
So they're not there.
They are
gone. The bodies are moved. Keep your visors open. There we go. I'm gonna make it for the starboard lift and try and call a lift to us. And meanwhile, just keeping my weapon trained on the room that we didn't really go into.
Okay, cool. So ZT heads up to call the elevator, and seconds later, you hear Corporal Duke Sarlin say, Hey, somebody tried to get the elevator? We need that.
I called it first, Corporal.
Nice. So are you see that it looks like override. There's a little note for an override. Is he's got his person trying to slice in and take control of the elevator. What do you do?
I just don't know if Zach can make it up the elevator shaft. Nor do I really want to go in that elevator shaft. there's no other way, right? The other elevator shaft, but there's elevator shaft.
Elevator shaft and elevator.
Okay. It's a stormtrooper thing to do. I'm going to shoot the panel to try and short circuit it so that he can't use it. And then we're going to climb our way
Such a
up.
dick.
We're gonna crawl up the starboard elevator shaft.
Okay, awesome. So go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, here we go.
You do 3 points of damage. The elevator for starboard side is now non-functional.
I'm just gonna use my blaster pistol because it seems thematic, and I only get 2.
Okay, cool. So pew, you fire at the console. It's slagged. You're not going to be able to call anything here. Probably worked. And then it looks like you're going to direct everybody to start heading up the ladder on the port side.
So whenever we get ready to head up, is this on the is this the side that had that cable hanging out?
Yeah, that's what your head is, the side that had the cable hanging out.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab that cable and shoot it off, grab a length and tie one end around me and one end around Zach.
Nice.
So as we're heading up, he has a better chance if he slips.
Sweet. So the two of you are tying the ropes around each other. ZT, I think Zapal, he stares out of the shaft, kind of is looking around. He's got his little light. He's terrified of going up the ladder by himself. And then the three of you are in that central area before you head out. The door to the room that you hadn't secured slides open. And you see that there is a person that was in security uniform at one point. Both of his arms are those wicked, weird little claws. You see the two bodies that you guys had thrown into the room are just thrown back into this room. And he reaches out. The two of you guys are secured together at the time that he reaches for, he's not going to reach for Zach. Maybe he knows. But he's coming for you, Nate. Okay. So please make a panic attack as this thing is coming at you.
Panic or fear?
Sorry. Thank you for helping on the. Please make a fear check.
Okay. And I do not get initiative. I rolled a 7.
All right.
Under my nerve.
Under your nerve. All right, you're good. So now let's all have everybody roll nerve for initiative.
My lowest is a 15.
Okay, so the opposition will go before you.
I got a 1.
Nice. You go first. And I don't think there's anything for critical on
Usually not.
Yeah. Too bad. And then what about for Zach?
Zach will go after the opposition.
Okay, cool. So let's see what ZT does.
Yeah, so I see this security. I'm going to try and go for the legs.
Smart.
Because if I can kind of take out the legs and make it just crawl on the ground, we might stand a chance. So that's where my damage is directed. Let's see if that actually pulls off anything.
By the way, this thing's security uniform is actual armor. So
right. I rolled a 5, so at least I get to roll damage.
Nice. And don't forget to roll your usage die.
Yes, I'll roll those at the same time. That's a 3 on damage, and I get to keep a D8 for my usage.
Okay. Sweet. So you fire and take off its left leg, like just below the knee. The blaster just passes through that thing, and that's what it's made to do, is kill people. It kind of falls forward and will grab on to Nate. Nate, as it claws you, you take 5 points of damage from its claw. Do you wish to use some armor damage, some armor points to eat up some of that?
No. I'm going to take all. Well, okay. So, Zach, tell me exactly what you said when you said you got infected. Would I know whether or not the claw infects or whether or not the bite infects? No.
I don't think I even know that.
Okay, great. So then I'm going to soak up all the armor damage. So remove all of my armor and take 1 point.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get infected by this thing.
Good call. Sweet. So you just take 1 point of damage as it slags through the chest part of your armor. Maybe takes off the shoulder piece. Be a really good story for later. But it doesn't.
I actually do know because I only took claw damage. I forgot the bite missed me completely. So yeah, you would. So yeah, I would have said yeah to you. But you burned the armor anyway. So
yeah.
Yep. Cool. But because it's only 1 point of damage, it's not bad enough for you to have to roll against infection. It is a very superficial wound. So yeah, it claws into you. Now, by the way, for turns, just so we're playing by the rules, will be even clearer next time around. 1 turn, 2 actions. So you can, if you want, ZT, take another shot, but you have to deplete your adrenaline. Double check that. 1 turn, 2
I think
actions.
the adrenaline is flowing at this point.
Yeah.
I'll take another shot. Oop.
As the leader, you get something about if you use an action to talk to characters.
Oh, that's right. They get advantage on their panic.
No one's panicked yet, right?
No one has. You guys have been really pretty great about that.
Except for the NPC, right?
Well, I mean, yes, he's pretty panicked. But he won't be rolling dice to recover. He's just going to panic. So if you take the same action twice during a combat turn, then you have to roll adrenaline. Meaning you can fire twice.
I really do like that. Well, I don't know. We're not really close to panicking yet, are we? I don't know. You're always just like this close, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to use my second action then to I don't know, buff the squad, as it were.
Oh, cool. So you don't have to spend an adrenaline for that.
No. I'm just going to be like, all right, check it, Delta. I'm the last up the ladder. Get up topside.
That's so brave and awesome.
I'm putting myself between the rest of the team and this thing.
This creature? Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
And giving everyone advantage on panic attacks.
So the opposition is gone. It clawed Nate. So since Nate's busy getting clawed, we'll say, Zach, you go after the opposition. What do you want to do? It looks like ZT is trying to boost your guys' confidence here. She's being brave. What are you doing, Zach?
So the thing is still moving. I didn't.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's taken some harm, but it's lost a leg, but it seems to be moving, limping pretty well.
I'm going to take a shot with the blaster.
All right. Go ahead and roll Dex. You want to roll?
9. I missed, but no crit this time.
Okay.
And I'll roll the D4 for my usage.
Okay.
And it's depleted.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, there you go. You missed, and your battery pack for your blaster is reading empty. Something must have drained it. Maybe you overcharged it too long. Who knows? Oh, nice. So, Nate, what's your action? This thing's right up in your face.
So let's rock. I'm going to shoot.
Yes.
And I'm good at that, right? So I can attack 3 targets and roll adrenaline. Or 3 times on the same target. As long as I have full auto. So I'm going to roll, let's see. I rolled a 12, which my dex is a 10, so that doesn't hit. I rolled a 12, and I rolled a 6.
Yay!
Yeah.
And then roll your adrenaline.
Yeah, roll my adrenaline, which my adrenaline die is a D6. Okay. And I rolled a 1, which means it goes down
to a D4. Yep.
Okay. And then I also need to roll the depletion 3 times. Right? Let's make sure that doesn't mess. I don't think it's possible for me to lose my blaster. I rolled a 7. I rolled a 1, so that goes down by 1, and I rolled another 7. So I'm at D6 on my usage die for my thing. And then I'll roll damage. So I hit once, that's a D8, and I rolled a 6.
Okay, nice. 6 points of damage. So there's a whole lot of furious action. What it looks like is you fired off a whole bunch of shots, and I'm kind of imagining like Vasquez and Aliens, like, come on, pop, 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 pop. You fire a bunch of shots. You hit this thing like 3 times in the chest, and once in the head. You do that last hit appears to have pierced its brain, and it shudders once and kind of falls onto you. It starts oozing that weird motor oil viscous blood, but it is no longer moving. Next round. ZT, what do you do? Looks like you guys took down that 3rd bogey.
All right. So just to recap. So Nate is tied to Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Nate has taken out, or at least he appears to have taken out the bogey, and is kind of like leaning onto him, bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Rafan? Halfway up the ladder?
Yeah, I think he kind of, you said, I'll be last, and he said,
Yeah.
Bet. And he's up the ladder. Like he is somewhere near Alpha.
Well, it's one way to get him to take point. All right. I guess I'm gonna like kick the security guard off of Nate, and
Awesome.
like, good job, soldier. Let's get out of here. And I don't really. Well, there's the other 2 bodies that were in that room. We saw them, but they weren't moving.
You saw them; they were not moving.
Okay, well, and this thing was just doing something weird. So yeah, I'm gonna start, pushing them towards the lift. We gotta get out of
Sir,
here.
we should secure that room.
That's a negative, soldier.
Yes, sir. And I start climbing up that ladder.
That's all you needed. Sweet. Zach, since you're hurting, let's have you make a con check. Make sure you can keep up with them. You don't drag them behind. How'd you do on your con check, Zach? I just realized I can unmute other people.
Wow. I failed. But
Okay.
no.
Sweet. 2 more points of damage. As you try to huff it, and Nate has to pull you, and your body is aching. Those 3 claw marks are burning. It's just like somebody's pouring hot grease out of a vat onto those wounds, and it hurts. A couple times you miss a rung but don't quite fall, and at one point Nate actually has to secure onto a rung to kind of help you and give you some purchase where you can make your way up. ZT, you get to see all of this. You hear blaster fire echoing across the shaft, not coming from the shaft, but you can just hear it other places in the station. And then eventually you guys make your way back up to main deck, all 4 of you, and the lights are on main deck, and the grav hammer is in the process of like coming through the force shield so that you guys can head on. You see up in the top deck is Sergeant Halcyon. No other troopers with Sergeant Halcyon. And then the starboard side elevator opens up, and the rest of Alpha Squadron come out, and you spot Corporal Duke. He points at you, ZT, but they are running for the ship. And Sergeant Halcyon says, "We are leaving, troopers." So yeah, what do you do, ZT?
Yeah, I think we're gonna hightail it towards the grab hammer, but I would like to just like, if I see that Zach is like really struggling, if he's got like a Bacta injection or something that I can.
Oh, you want to use the med kit on him?
Yeah, I want to use his own med kit on him because I'm not sure he's going to make it to the grav hammer.
All right.
His eyes are starting to look a little gray through his helmet, I guess. I'm not sure. Maybe I have like little pictures of everyone inside their helmet inside my helmet.
I think his helmet's gone, right? It got ripped off.
Yeah, I don't have a helmet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your helmet is gone. Yeah. So I'm starting to see a little gray in your eyes, and Bacta cures everything. That's what I learned in the academy.
All right, cool. So I imagine as a medic, you can give him advantage to do that, right? Because it's the player rolls a d6 with advantage, recovers that many HP. So he's going to use the med kit on you. And the beta fire team, they like move out and they're trying to cover as Alpha's getting on the grav hammer. Halcyon comes down and he's like, ZT, what are you doing? Where's your helmet? CK650, where's your helmet?
Left it on level 2, and then I want to just like jam the Bacta into his neck.
Nice. You get to roll 2d6, and he gets to keep the best of the two.
Intelligence?
It is I think you just roll the med kit. I think. Hold on. Players roll a d6 with advantage, recovers that many HP. Yeah, so you just use it.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I roll 2d6.
You roll 2d6, and the better of the two is what he recovers, and then you'll need to roll the usage die for the med kit, which is
okay. I'm gonna use your dice there, Zach. There we go. Okay. Ooh, you got a 4.
We'll take the 4. Yeah.
Keep my troopers alive, Halcyon.
You're gonna have to roll the usage die.
Oh yes, I'll re-roll my own die. There we go. Hey, you got another Bacta pen in there somewhere.
Nice. And he says, keeping your helmet on will help them stay alive too.
Sir, it was lost
Get
under
in
fire.
there.
And I'm going to run up and grab Rafan because he's got that big pile of crap that we took.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm going to drag him towards the ship and, shove him in front of me. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Rafal is not fighting you. Rafan Zapal is like, yep, let's go to the ship. We're going, ZT. All right, Corporal. He's hopping it with Nate securing Zach. You stop for a moment for the application of the Bacta. You physically feel a little better, but that burning, like you feel feverish. Your eyes are watery. Your mouth is like really, really dry. And they're bringing you towards the grav hammer.
We got to look at those crystals as soon as possible. Hurry.
All right. So with Beta covering Alpha, they go on. They don't come out to cover you guys at all. Their fire team is just like, they are pissed at you guys. So you make it on board first, Nate with Zapal, and then ZT and Zach. You guys make it on board. Halcyon's there securing you guys. At the very end, you hear some growling going on in the main deck. He fires a few shots, and you guys pop in. The grav hammer starts backing away as you see some things starting to move. And then once the grav hammer moves back out of the way, the captain starts firing on the station. And the TIE fighters like swoop in and they hit the gas tanks and then light it up. And they take this space station, they blast it to nothingness. Like the grav hammer moves out of the way to where they're not going to get hit by the blast. They're not worried about trying to fly free from a blast here. They're just taking it the hell out. Zach, so you're the medic. There's some crew here on board. What are you doing once you get pulled in and you're flying away?
I'm gonna see first. I'm gonna see if I can stop the spread of this infection just with what I know about infections before digging into the crystals.
Oh, cool! So you're going to use that research. Awesome. That will allow you to roll with advantage. Here is the deal, Zach. You get to roll an intelligence check. If you fail, you believe that you've cured it, and at some point, your character becomes an NPC in the next session.
Okay.
If you succeed, then you know what needs to be done, and you can at least get yourself secure to where it's not going to spread any further. But you're going to have to get an actual medical facility to cure it. If that makes sense. So you can stop the spread of the infection with a success. With a failure, you're good, but you're not good.
All right. Well, fingers crossed. Here goes. We got a 5. We got a success.
Nice. So yes, you realize that what you need to do is get a heavy amount of Bacta, and you need to effectively get put into a medically induced coma during the trip home, and they can use the medical research that was secured by Nate and carried by Zapal. He'll definitely point out that he carried it all the way up the ladder, and and they can cure you up, and that will bring this mission to I really thought that we were going to have an attack in the middle of you guys in hyperspace, but you're fine. So yeah, Zach, you get put under as they put you in a hypersleep chamber, medically induced coma. ZT, Nate, you guys can secure gear and get him a new helmet from everything else, and so everyone survived. You all get 3 XP.
Yes.
And you got the 1 XP for the bad feeling about this, so everybody should have 4 XP. 1 more XP, and there will be advances. So I'm just going to say, go ahead and take an advance for next session. So we'll just clear it out, or take 1 advance. Everybody gets an advance because we're only playing 2 sessions anyway.
Okay.
Cool. So we are at the end of the actual official part of the session. I would love to do some roses and thorns here at the end, friends, because it's a new session. I know I've been doing a lot of stars and wishes of late, but I wanted to just check in, and were there any particular moments that are a little confusing? I want to lead off by saying I'm confused by the rules about how it says that you can add adrenaline to a roll, but on a roll under system, I don't understand how that works. Should you flip it? Is that supposed to subtract?
I would just think you would subtract. You'd roll a d6 and subtract that from whatever you rolled in your d20. So, or it adds to your stat. Functionally, mathematically, it's the same thing.
Cool. So then, just so you guys are aware, next session, let's keep that front of mind. That with an adrenaline, I know you guys are got a 50-50 shot, but if you're burning adrenaline for it, you're going to make yourself significantly more effective. So let's.
And
keep
then what's the roll on the adrenaline die? You just roll it, and you need to be what?
Great question. So what we'll rule is you just roll it and add it to your target number.
Okay.
If you're doing an attribute check. So if you're willing to use your adrenaline, you roll your adrenaline die, and whatever you get adds to your target number. But if you get a 1 or 2 on your adrenaline die, it will go down a step because it is effectively a usage die. Because running out of adrenaline and hitting panic attacks is really like the sweet spot of the system. And I didn't do a good job of highlighting the uses of adrenaline, and that's on me. So that I'm taking that as my self thorn for sure. Is a thing that I knew in concept. I'm like, oh, adrenaline and panic and fear, all that circle is really cool, but I didn't do a good job of highlighting it and didn't even bring it up until halfway through the session. So that's on me. I will fix it for next time. So let's go with roses and thorns. So roses are we will start with thorns, and then we'll do roses. We'll go around for thorns. That started with thorns. That's a definite thorn there. Greg, what thorns did you have?
I think the only thorn I have is if we just got into the action bit a little bit sooner.
I agree.
I feel like the first part of the session just dragged a little bit, and then if we'd done that, maybe we would have gotten a cool exit battle scene from the.
Yep, I completely agree. Yeah, really good point. Maybe watching Aliens was not the best cue for me, because I was like, yeah, we'll just we'll tease this out. But I think if we jumped out and did some stuff early on, it would have been played a little better into burning adrenaline and more of that stuff. Absolutely right. Steven, what about you? What thorns did you have?
So the rule system was a little bit weird. I noticed whenever I went into combat, I was rolling a lot of dice all at the same time. And that's just the way the grunt works. But with that, normally you would roll to attack and then possibly damage and then usage. So everything is 3 die.
Yeah.
So that was a little intense. And so I had a couple of rules questions. The first was, can I do that move that lets me attack 3 targets twice, or is that let's rock 2 actions? It makes more sense for it to be 2 actions and attack 3 times.
So it's not clear in the rules, but that does make sense. I would probably rule that like you're burning your second action to do that.
Yeah.
You get 3 for 2.
The second rules question is, you mentioned taking an advance, but I don't see anything about that.
Oh, so if you look at benefits, starting at row 25, so just click one of the benefits. Just do a check mark on one of those
okay,
benefits.
I see that. I'm sorry.
1 by 25 and 45.
I was looking in the rules.
Oh, 45. Thank you so much, Scott.
I was looking in the rules, in the Extinction rules. I didn't see anything. I see that now.
Oh, you're right. I didn't copy in the advancement system in there. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. No problem. And that was it.
Cool. That's really helpful. I appreciate those questions. Scott, what critical feedback or missed opportunities or the like for Thorns did you have?
Actually, I think ZT covered where I was, because this is very much like there's a similar scene in one of the Expanse books. And it's great because all the kind of really frightening crap happens while they're escaping.
Mm-hmm.
It actually doesn't stop, and even once they're in their version of hyperspace. But it was really great because it's just creepy. Then, oh my god.
All right, cool. Yeah, I had a whole like one of the other troopers was going to be infected, but like we were at the end of time, so I didn't get to do that because I didn't kick off fast enough. So yeah,
well, we don't know that they're not infected.
We don't know. Maybe they were. I don't know. Cool. Thank you so much. And so we'll circle back around for roses. Just a couple roses you can hand out to your fellow players or talk about particular highlights of the session. Greg, what roses did you have?
I wrote mine down because I always forget. Thank you, Steve, for calling out for initiative.
Yes, thank you.
It was so very obvious that like, oh yeah, right, Trad, yeah, here we go. But I'm and a bit of a rose. I actually kind of liked the initiative in this game. I know it's not for everyone, but I liked how it structured it a little bit. Certainly playing a character who's one good thing is that they usually do go first. It was nice.
Yeah, it's actually the same initiative system that Numenera and Cypher uses.
Oh,
right.
And even within that, it's like if you rolled under, the players get to decide what order they go in. So it's even not strict on locking you into single numbers.
Yeah, and Scott, the Nerf blaster. I'll confess, I thought of doing that myself, but I
take no credit.
Find a good one.
I take no credit. My youngest son pulled it out.
That's awesome.
And then, tell him Rich, we say thanks.
Yes. And then Rich, of course, I just enjoy Star Wars Saturdays every time. And
yay!
It's always fun to fight zombies in Star Wars.
It's good. I can't wait till the Battle of Kalen next time. It's going to be fun too. Thank you so much, Greg. Steven, what roses did you have?
So the first thing that really hit me when I started looking into this game was I love the D6 past things. And I don't know where they came from. Did you come up with those in the character?
It's from Extinction.
Those are really nice.
I wrote a number of them when I had to make new classes, but yeah, I was like, yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm glad you like it. I like it too.
Yeah, so I was thinking through there, and I almost picked my class solely based off of the list of past. Like, these are really cool. And this felt a lot like a panic-induced, bug hunt, right? And I was like, oh yeah, this is great, because of course we're going to walk into it, we're going to, everything's going to be fine, and then everything's going to go crazy. And yeah, I mean, I think everyone worked really well. I think that Greg, you were a good leader. I think that Scott, the medic, of course the medic is the first one to get infected. Of course that's the problem. I mean,
the dice love that story.
That was kind of perfect, yeah.
So that's good, yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, Stephen. And then Scott, bring us home. What roses did you have?
My first was actually for the initiative system because it's great. It's not onerous, but it does provide a sense of order and gives everybody spotlight time, which is sometimes what I find that initiative fails at helping with. I actually really liked the way Nate played his character. He was just like a grunt. He was like a grunt, and it was perfect. And then I actually really like this kind of setup. Very much aliens, very much. There's some scenes in Expanse that are like this. I love it, and I loved that I got infected. It was
Awesome.
It was really, really great. I was like, what's going to happen to me now? So,
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this session. Appreciate everybody having a gung ho attitude and being a stormtrooper. It was very fun. And with this, we'll go ahead and bring this session to a close.